Hi, my name is Carl Pearson. I'm an attorney. I'm in my 31st day of self-imposed quarantine, and I've been a small business person for 74 years, ever since I had a paper out in North Platte, Nebraska at age 9. This video is to give some insight to unemployed and underemployed individuals of all types, especially in light of the coronavirus, social distancing, and the financial tsunami heading our way. I know of no study, but suspect that a substantial percentage of small businesses in the U.S. started as a result of loss of job or other adverse change in employment. My first point is that you should not believe reports of unemployment claims. On April 15, 2020, the Wall Street Journal, in its print edition, stated, U.S. jobless claims soar for third straight week. Nearly 17 million Americans have filed new claims for benefits since mid-March as the coronavirus spread. Now, this 17 million needs to be tripled, at least. I'm sure the total number of unemployed exceeds 50 million, when adding 1, the number of persons already receiving unemployment benefits more than 3 weeks ago, 2, the number of persons who already exhausted their unemployment benefits and did not obtain a job, 3, the number of persons with a job paying less than a living wage or other underemployed persons, 4, the millions of independent contractors, sole proprietorships, and other small businesses in the U.S. who have lost their incomes and are now applying for PPP/CARES loan relief. On April 6, 2020, the Bank of America stated that, quote, the bank confirmed that it has received applications from 177,000 small businesses for a total of $32.6 billion in financing. End of quote. Assume that this is only 5% of such applications to be made to all permitted lenders. This would add another 3.5 million unemployed. 5. Then you can add another 3.5 million for independent contractors and small businesses not permitted to apply for the limited funds until April 10, 2020, who don't bother to apply because they believe that the funds will run out as to those at the end of the list of applicants for the small amount of funding involved. 6. And you have to add about 10 or 20 million other independent contractors, sole proprietorships, and other small businesses who qualify as unemployed starting today and for a number of months or years possibly in the future. The total unemployment when looked in this way is probably more than 50 or 60 million people. My point is that unemployment, however defined, is devastating for the unemployed person, his or her family, the neighbors, schools, and the community. Now, enough of the bad stuff. Here is what many of you as unemployed, however I've defined it, should do at this time to survive economically. 1, you need to determine which member of your family is the person who actually engages in small business to ensure you don't lose benefits from sources such as union, community, rent or housing related, food stamps, healthcare benefits. So make a list of each of the benefits that you or your family receive and determine whether you would lose any benefits if you started a small business. 2, it is possible that the benefits may continue if the correct person is designated as the small business person in your family. 3, save thousands of dollars per year by not setting up an entity for doing business such as a corporation, an LLC, or a limited partnership. They cost money to set up and even more money to maintain over the years. Instead, Do business as an individual, a sole proprietorship, and you won't need a lawyer or an accountant to prepare financial statements, tax returns, and annual filings with the state. 4. The idea that you would need an entity to prevent liability for yourself is not as important as the costs to you. First, transfer your real property to the other spouse, that is, the one not doing business. Creditors will demand that you guarantee contracts, and other than your real property, you probably don't have much to protect anyway. 5. You can hide your name by use of a, quote, DBA, that is, doing business as, or, quote, assumed name certificate, unquote, which you can prepare and file yourself with a low-cost filing fee, $25 in New York State, $10 to $100 in California, and it's more costly in Illinois, filing fee of $20 to $50 to the county clerk and $40 to $100 for the publication of the legal notice. 6. You probably should be thinking of something you offer and sell through a website rather than renting a storefront with the social distancing restrictions throughout the U.S. and substantial monetary outlay with 2 to 3 months deposit, insurance requirements, and needed improvement, including signage. 7. You will probably need someone to create a website for you if you don't have the skills yourself, but there is a huge number of qualified persons working from their homes looking for additional income the same way you are looking. And you should be thinking of making use of these skilled, needy individuals, particularly in helping you with social website advertising and marketing. 8. Well, what should you do? Well, let me count the ways. You should probably do something for which you are qualified and interested. You should start thinking about what this could be. 9. Many years ago, in 1968, or maybe a year or so later, I had a plan in the event my fledgling law practice failed, and I had to do something to meet my monthly expenses living in the expensive east side of New York, New York. Here is what I plan to do, updated a little bit with the advent of internet and social websites. 9A, buy a used USPS or Federal Express step van. 9B, equip the step van with cell telephone, fax machine, a notebook computer, various tools to do the jobs you are going to do in a neighborhood. 9C, design and have signs such as neighborhood gigs wanted, placed on the outside of the van if this is lawful, so that the selected neighborhood knows what and where you will perform home-related jobs with your own tools and possibly your hourly rate, such as $50 per hour, and, of course, contact information. 9D, drive slowly in the neighborhood to let residents know what you do and that the step van is your office. 9E, do internet marketing directed to the neighborhood. 9F, discuss jobs, prices through phone, fax, email, and in person. 9G, set up PayPal, Zelle, and QuickPay ways to pay. 9H, develop and market a list of things you would be willing and able to do. 9I, consider getting insurance to cover your activities and market that fact if you are insured. And 9J, consider whether you want to expand with other units and how you would get paid. I remember, by the way, deciding that expansion would be too costly and difficult, so I dropped that idea for myself. 10. Perhaps my plan can be modified and put to use today with proper safeguards as to the coronavirus and social distancing. Anyway, I hope this video enables you to do some planning to enable you to survive the financial tsunami that appears to be on its way. Well, I've said what I plan to say, and I'll say so long until my next video.